Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR MyCareer mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we take on the Tricky Triangle for the Pocono Organics 325. As we had some breaking news this weekend, Jeff Gordon, Hendrick Motorsports announcement here, as it is now news that they have made a crew chief change mid-season and Steve Letarte has been promoted to crew chief for the number 24 team. And will we see a bit of a turnaround this season for this DuPont Chevrolet? I personally hope so. Of course, it's been a miserable season here in 2003 for Jeff Gordon and that 24 team. Of course, they do have one win so far at Bristol, but outside of that win in Bristol, things really haven't been very pretty going for that 24 team, and Jeff Gordon and Hendrick Motorsports hope that this is a move that's going to turn things around. We're coming off of a first win on the season for Ryan Newman last episode in Dover, and looks to try and continue that momentum coming here into Pocono. Of course, his second win of his Cup Series career, so awesome to see him, get to victory lane. As for us here in this number 21 Motographed Ford Taurus, I mean, didn't quite have the race we were looking for in Dover, but we really grinded it out and made some good gains towards the end of that race and got a respectable result. But we continue to kind of tumble down the points order as the season progresses, and we kind of start to, kind of end up where we expect to be, as well as we now focus in on qualifying. I can confirm this weekend I was approached by representatives from Red Bull Racing, who is, of course, already confirmed to have a team in the series next season. They'll be partnered with Dodge. Well, they approached me this weekend asking what my plans are for 2004. I simply said, well, right now, I mean, I am a free agent. I only have a one-season contract with this Wood Brothers Racing team. They have not yet reached out about extending, so we do have a contact with Red Bull Racing going forward that will continue to kind of expand upon as these races go on here in the future. Now, as we come through here in qualifying with a goal of a 55.648, and to the end of my lap here down the front straightaway, what's it going to be? A 55.276, and that puts us smack dab in the middle of the field here, row 10, P20, in this Pocono Organics 325, and not really surprised by that. You see the rest of your qualifying order on your screen. Ryan Newman actually going to back up his win last episode with his 9th career pole. Of course, was notoriously known as, the Rocket Man here in NASCAR back in the day, and proving that here in Pocono. So now it's time to go racing Sunday afternoon. Can Ryan Newman back up his win, or will Jeff Gordon get back on track in that number 24? Starting front row alongside that number 12, Gordon currently at 62 wins in his NASCAR Cup Series career, looking for 63 today now. As well, you see one concern for the rest of the field is that fire icon beside Ryan Newman's name. So not only did he qualify and pole, but he's got that icon that usually signifies that he's going to be fast. So watch out for that Altel Mobil 1 Dodge here today. Dave Blaney had replaced the transmission there before the race. He'll be starting at the back of the grid. That does not affect any of the top 20 starting order as we are ready to go racing here from Pocono Raceway. Ryan Newman, Jeff Gordon lead the field to green over Tony Stewart and Terry Labonte. We're underway down the longest front straightaway in NASCAR. Alongside that 22 of Ward Burton towards turn number 1 we go. You got a lot of time to really just think about life on that run into turn number 1. We settle in behind the 16 of Greg Biffle, fellow Rookie of the Year contender now, and Biffle has had very up and down results as a rookie full-time this season. Kind of like Kurt Busch, both of those Roush drivers have had very up and down seasons. I say both of them, well, really Roush as a whole has been very up and down. Mark Martin, I would say as well, and as well even the 99 of Jeff Burton is in that same category. The whole team has just been kind of all over the place, and they're not going to be a real championship threat unless they can figure that out. Here we are, though, on the inside of that 16. He's going to re-clear us into turn 3. Someone up there is kind of slowing up a lot of this pack of cars, and that's going to help me as we exit turn number 3 here. And Mark Martin actually going to get to my inside down this front straightaway in that Viagra forward. He'll pass us. And as well, here comes the 9 of Bill Elliott, who's going to go through as well on that number 9 Dodge. Of course, we've been talking about Bill Elliott trying to get things back on track in that number 9 with, of course, member MJ Seals as his crew chief. You look at Penske Racing, well, we had a new member, of course, winning finally last episode with that 12 car. That was WNEF7 picking up their first win, a part of this career mode lower. One more reminder, of course, if you, of course, do want to be part of the lower as getting put on teams in this career mode where we have a Google spreadsheet where we update your stats and whatnot, you can join the Go and Pick crew with that join button, and you will be part of the career mode lower now as we come through to lap 3 of 46 at this point. And I mean, this is going to be a pretty straightforward race, of course. Now, depending on how much time that you give up to the leaders, you can make a pit stop without losing a lap here, which as well is going to be, you know, something that really changes up some strategy. We have a bit of a checkup here out of this tunnel turn, and I'm going to dive to the inside. Kevin Harvick Jr., 2 big names, not running so well here today from Pocono as well, as we'll follow in behind the 2 of Rusty Wallace. It's been a few races since I've run into the back of him, so hoping we can continue that trend. Now, I don't really want to, you know, keep running into the, of course, legend of the sport now, but as we continue in this fight here, I mean, clearly someone's been backing things up, and it's hard to tell who. Maybe it's the 25 right there of Joe Nemechek, because you had a bit of contact right there with the 9 of Bill Elliott. Now down the short chute towards turn number 3, and actually the 9 got sideways because of that contact. Thankfully, he saves it. We continue on as we're fighting with Jeff Burton in that number 99 sit-go forward as well now. And here comes Kurt Busch to my outside. I am surrounded by Roush drivers here. The 99, 97, the 6 as well, as Ryan Newman continues to lead in these opening laps of racing, looking very, very strong right off the bat. He's kind of on an island of his own right now as we continue to kind of scrap it out with the likes of Burton and Nemechek, as well as we've broken now into the top 20. Pretty happy with that because, yeah, I mean, it's kind of proving that we got some decent pace here. I don't think we're going to have a greatly fast car, but we've clearly got something here to show as these laps will continue on at this point now. Lap 7 at this point, Ryan Newman continuing to run away, and I was starting to deal with an issue. You see it right there. I'm starting to break really loose, so I was already thinking about, okay, we can get about 13 to 14 laps on a full tank of fuel. Now, what if we short pit? Because I felt like we're starting to hit that point where we're starting to lose more than we are gaining. So what if we pit a little bit early, because we shouldn't lose a lap depending on how much time we are behind the leader. So if we come in early, get some tires, get some fuel, we'll hopefully stay on the lead lap, get some adjustments in this car, and get ourselves maybe some overall track position as this run goes on. So at the end of lap 9, I decided to bring that into action, and we're going to come into the pits right here at the end of this 9th lap. We could run another 4 or 5 laps easily, but we're not going to. We're going to come in, we're going to get these adjustments because I started to hit a point of struggling. So we're going to take a pretty big swing at this car. We're going to go up 3 clicks on the wedge. I originally was like, we're going to go up 5 clicks, but I thought that might be a little bit too far. I make some adjustments to tire pressures, and then I would settle on the 50.3 for the wedge. So as we get 4 tires on, we get some fuel in the car. To my surprise, Ryan Newman will put me a lap down. So we lost overall too much time. So we do lose a lap. Here comes Jeff Gordon in the DuPont Chevrolet as well. And that number 24, he's going to go by. And then we're going to stay in front of Tony Stewart. So now we have to hope it stays green, because if a caution comes out, I mean, we will get the free pass, but obviously there will be a lot of damage done. We'll be way down the order. We'll be all the way at the back of the field. We are in front of 1 car, so someone's had some form of issue here as well, as now we're just waiting for these laps to kind of get to lap 13, lap 14 is where I'm expecting the pit stops to really take place. We might see some on lap 12 as well, with drivers maybe coming in a couple laps early, but I mean, at this point now, it's just, yeah, hoping for no caution and waiting to see. And sure enough, lap 12 there would be some pit stops, and coming to lap 13, here comes the leaders. Ryan Newman, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, they're all coming in. So we do get back on the lead lap now. And I think that by pitting early, it's going to be good for us in the short to medium run, simply in terms of track position. We have run down McMurray and Kurt Busch right here in the 97 into turn number 1. We're going to slide in right between the two drivers there. The Chip Ganassi rookie of McMurray here right to my back bumper on the exit of turn number 1 as we head down Long Pond straightaway. And he is going to really put some pressure on right here. He's going to get a nice run, and he's going to be looking to my inside as we head down into the tunnel turn. So he's going to be able to pass me right here. But I think overall we're going to make some good gains in this green flag pit cycle just by coming in a little bit early as we actually come back right there at McMurray and are able to get back in front of that 42. But then he repasses me down the front straightaway. But look at this. We're passing Kevin Harvick. We're even passing Terry Labonte. So by pitting as early as we did, we have gained like 8-9 positions. Now the question is, how long is that going to last? Now when all was said and done, we would get to P10 once the cycle had run its course. But now here comes those guys that were on now 4 or 5 lap fresher tires, 6 lap fresher tires just about, and here they are now passing me. So we have to hope this run really runs its course and we don't get a caution, as Ryan Newman had returned to the lead in that number 12 over Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart. Newman is looking pretty well unbeatable here today in Pocono. It's going to take a lot now as the round goes to 30. Mike Skinner goes for a crash. Caution's going to fly. Or sorry, Jeff Green, not Mike Skinner. And Jack Sprague gets a piece of it as well. Mark Martin, Jeff Green are going to pit. And I was considering coming in, but I would end up electing overall at the end of this to stay on the racetrack and kind of suffer the consequences. I didn't really want to go to the back at this point. So as we return back to the green flag, we're on lap 18, approaching lap 19. We've still got plenty of racing to go, 28 laps to go, but by staying out here, this should turn things into, I was going to say a one-stop race, but no, it's still going to be a two-stop race no matter what. So we're going to need some help of another yellow at some point to get ourselves into one-stop territory. But we just saw, we can see those cautions come out here, so don't be surprised if we see more throughout this race as we head down Long Pond straightaway again, and Ryan Newman is already back in full control over the rest of the field into the tunnel turn. He's clear. You got Stewart and Gordon all racing at it up there. I don't think Kevin Harvick's going to be very happy after that one. I mean, we just made ever so slight contact into turn 3, or into turn 2, sorry, and it just sends him sliding into the corner. That's something really frustrating with the settings that we have with the car-to-car contact, is in no world should Kevin Harvick's car be sliding into the corner because of that. So I think we might need to make some adjustments to the AI because that should absolutely not send a car out of control by any form at all. But here we are, unfortunately. So we continue though here with still 27 laps remaining in this race, and I mean, we're kind of tumbling down the order for obvious reasons. Of course, we have come into the pit so much earlier, and then we don't come in there at the caution, so we're going to be on older tires, and my kind of goal right off the bat here is really just hang on at this point and get to the pit lane again, and we should not lose enough time to go a lap down on this next green flag pit stop. So that should also really benefit us. But hold on, caution's going to be coming out right here on the run into turn 1. That's Ward Burton going to collect Junior into the outside wall, and our AI is going to slam into the right rear quarter panel of the 22, and this is what's going to bring me into the pit lane, considering the fact that we only have 5 laps of fuel left in the car. Yeah, let's come in and make some more adjustments as well. We're going to go even further down on the right side. Tire pressures to 36 PSI, and we drop down now to 38th. Kyle Petty as well is going to join us in the pit lane. So as we return to green, now, well, of course, a slow start after slamming into the 22 after the caution. That's not surprising. But I'm just trying to think here. We've got 23 laps of racing, so this is officially a one-stop race for us in this 21 camp, and I would imagine, of course, the 45 of Kyle Petty, he's in the same situation, but I'm just looking around at everybody else, and I'm like, well, I don't think anyone else outside of myself in the 45 here can one-stop this. I think everybody else still has to make 2 pit stops if they're going to make it to the end of this race. Even with some help from the cautions, they're not going to be close enough. So this, all of a sudden, if in a world where this goes green to the end of the race, which, I mean, likelihood is it doesn't, but there is a world where we do get a green flag run to the end of this race, and if that's the case, right now we would be racing Kyle Petty for the win, and we just cleared him in that number 45. So you have to wonder, and honestly, you don't even have to wonder. No, you have to approach this right now like you are racing for the win of this race here. And I am not necessarily in a rush to get through traffic. We got fresher tires, so we don't have to be in a rush because these fresher tires are just naturally able to get us, you know, further forward. Mark Martin back here in that number 6 Viagra Ford here in 31st place. Not having a good day for Mark Martin, and we're going to be looking to pass him on the run down into turn number 1 there. You got Elliott Sadler as well in this 38. We'll get up the inside of him on the exit of the corner, and we'll move forward there on that number 38 of Sadler. Thank you very much. But now, I mean, we're coming up on 20 laps to go in this race, and I don't think we're terribly far away from seeing some pit stops, of course, from the rest of the field here. Probably in another, you know, 5 to 7 laps or so, we'll probably see them coming in kind of like around. Well, I mean, if they can make it that far, they'd be able to make it to the end from there. So we'll wait and see what happens here. But if they pit basically between, you know, now and lap 30, they cannot make it to the end of this race. You need to make it to lap 32, 33 to be able to make it to the end of this race on just 1 pit stop. So we'll wait and see what happens here, but we're obviously not that far away from that. So there is definitely a world still where Ryan Newman and the rest of the field can one-stop this race. And as we look to the inside of the 25 of Joe Nemechek here down the short chute towards turn 3, we continue to get closer to a top 20 result, but I am getting pretty excited at this point because I'm like, man, if this just stays green, things are looking pretty good for us now, because we know as of right now, still, everyone's going to have to pit, you know, in the next couple of laps, and then they'll have to pit again. And as we come to lap 30, look at the track map. We got cars in the pits. That's what we want to see. And I believe Ryan Newman's coming in. The leaders are all coming in as well. Tony Stewart stays out for an additional lap. That's going to put him close. But now, as we come to the end of lap 31, approaching lap 32, we're passing the 88 UPS Ford of Dale Jarrett, Tony Stewart, and pretty well the rest of the field is coming in to make their not final pit stop, but what could be close to their final pit stop. Sterling Marlin's going to go another lap. I think Marlin's guaranteed to pretty well make it to the end if he can get back around to the pits, but we still got 15 laps to go, which puts the rest of the field that just pit basically 2 laps short. So Marlin, I guess he would still be like a lap short, but I think he could save that. So anyone that's already pitted, they're not going to be able to make it to the end. I just don't see a path to that. Sterling Marlin pits at the end of lap 32. We come through now to 14 laps to go, and we've got ourselves in the lead of this race with 4 laps of field left in the tank. So, of course, we're going to be coming in at the very last moment. Mark Martin's still going, actually, as well. So, hold on. Not only can Kyle Petty make it to the end on 1 stop, Mark Martin is also in the same situation right there as we continue now to the end of lap 35. Still leading, Ryan Newman is in currently a net P2 as both Martin and Petty had now come into the pits. So we have now approached the final 11 laps of this race. We are going to have to pit at the end of lap 36. We got to come in this time by and get 4 tires and get some fuel, as we'll put Schrader a lap down. No, we won't. Caution's out, and my AI just drove into the back of Schrader. That's going to destroy our restart. Oh no, what just happened? There goes the entire plan. Oh, it's up ahead. It's Steve Park, I think, that's had an issue now, as we'll make some more adjustments and get ready for a late race restart. And yeah, we're going to take 4 tires, but just want to see what happened here. And it's the number 1 of Steve Park. Yeah, he lost a tire into the outside wall. He goes. So after all that, everybody comes in for a pit stop. So we're now P22, unfortunately, and the reason being because, yeah, everyone pitted, and we get a terrible restart because of that contact after the caution. But keep in mind, I mean, we're the only one that pretty well had to take 4 tires. Everybody else was able to take 2 tires and a splash of fuel, where I had to fill it up on fuel and get 4 new tires to make it to the end of this race. So everybody's good from this point on, but unfortunately, we really get hurt by that and drop down to P28 as Tony Tony Stewart was able to get the lead through the pit sequence, and Ryan Newman had actually dropped to 5th position as they went down towards the tunnel turn. So Ryan Newman has got some work to do in a race that he's dominated. He's gone 3 wide with Sterling Marlin, and is that Bill Elliott there? Yes, it is, and Newman's through already into P2, so it's game on. He's about to be all over the back of Tony Stewart for the lead of this race, and I think this is going to be a very short-lived battle for the lead. Here we go, out of turn 3. Newman's already to the inside. It's game over. He's going to probably be leading by the time we get down into turn 1 here with 7 laps to go. Watch the track map. There you have it. Ryan Newman back to the lead here from Pocono, and these closing laps of racing from the tricky triangle. And for us now, after that terrible restart and luck just kind of going against us a little bit, we are now in a sequence of just having to get as many spots as we can in these final 7 laps now, and I really am just kind of aiming to break back into the top 20. I would consider that a pretty decent success. What a fascinating race this has been, though, with strategy. Now, I love these kind of races. They're a good kind of change of pace, compared to a lot of the other races that we have throughout a season. I think we could see something similar in Michigan. We'll probably see something similar in Indianapolis as well, with the strategy game being played out. So I'm really looking forward to this next kind of, handful of races on this calendar now, as we'll pass the 54 there of Todd Bodine. And now as we run down Mark Martin here to the inside of him we go. I'm really proud as we now take P21 just with how we have managed to get ourselves back into the running here now in these closing 4 laps when we come back to the line. And next up is Terry Labonte, followed by Burton and Matt Kenseth. Matt Kenseth, one of our championship contenders. Same for the car in front of him, Kevin Harvick. Both not having very great performances here today in Pocono, but I have kind of flatlined once I got to 21st at this point. We're reeling these guys in a little bit now, but Ryan Newman is already coming up on 2 laps to go, and he is just trying to hang on at this point now as Burton would get past Kenseth. But we would look to the outside of that number 17 DeWalt Ford now. The one Roush driver that really has been consistent all season now as we come through to the final lap. Ryan Newman is about to go back-to-back wins here. Now been winless all season, but here he is in great control. Now Kenseth re-clears us down this front straightaway towards turn number 1. We're going to maybe get one more shot at passing that DeWalt Ford here for the 20th spot, but now he's going to look to the inside of his teammate there, Jeff Burton, as we exit turn 1. That's going to make it a bit more difficult for myself to be able to pass him. Crash behind Schrader into the outside wall. Caution's gonna fly. Race is gonna end under caution, and Ryan Newman will go back to back, picking up his 2nd career win in Dover last episode, and picks up his 3rd career win right here in Pocono. How about that? And Jeff Gordon comes up in P2 with the new crew chief there with Steve Letarte, both of the Evernham cars in the top 10 as well. And just like that as well, our member of WNF7 picks up his 2nd career win as the team strategist at Penske. And, got to give them credit. They did everything right today, and they pick up the win. Jimmy Johnson has a 4-point lead over Tony Stewart. Matt Kenseth, Dale Jr. Vault kind of faded back. Ryan Newman's made some big gains here in the last couple of rounds, and he puts himself into the top 5 as we unfortunately have dropped down to the 9th position in the standings. And you see the rest of the kind of top half of the field there. Jeff Gordon, P15, Bobby Labonte at the bottom of the grid. Next episode, we head to Michigan. I'll see you guys in that next one. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.
Bad idea.